Welcome to Better Today, the podcast where we embrace the journey of self-improvement and well-being. Join us as we navigate the challenges and victories of everyday life, aiming for progress, not perfection. Whether you're on a quest for personal growth, seeking motivation to adopt healthier habits, or simply looking for a friendly conversation about navigating the ups and downs of life, Better Today is your go-to companion. Tune in to be a part of a supportive community that believes in the power of small steps and continuous improvement.
Today we're sitting down with Jay Taheny, owner of CrossFit Cygnus in Richmond, Kentucky. Jay, start off, how long you been in business?
Actually coming up on 6 years. I think
6
August 6th so a couple weeks here we'll be at 6 years open, and but I've been doing CrossFit pretty much since 2013.
2013, all right. And it's 2026, so that's a
Long time.
Yeah. What are we here to talk about today?
All right. So I want to talk about CrossFit. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I have new clients come in and I can kind of give them my individual, take on CrossFit, but I rarely have the opportunity to speak to groups or anything like that and actually really expand into, the CrossFit methodology and things like that. So yeah, I want to talk about CrossFit.
Yeah. All right. So before we get too deep into CrossFit, tell us a little bit about your journey. Why did you start CrossFit? And stuff like that.
Sure. So yeah, go back to 2013, and actually I think August of 2013, I was at this time, I was full-time military, working. I was in Lexington working, but I lived here in Richmond, and there's a little sign pops up on the bypass, CrossFit or whatever. And it's something I'd heard about. And if you go back to the 2013 time frame, this is the beginning of the Rich Froning CrossFit Games era.
Yeah.
And, it was really starting to become mainstream. I think the game started in initially like 2006, but 2009, it kind of really took off. 2013, it's Reebok CrossFit Games. It's a big deal, so I hear about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm interested in that, so stop in, check out the gym. Very small, hole in the wall. Definitely not the gym that you think of when you think gym. Where's the machines at? Whatever. No, you got a rig and you got some barbells. I'm like, okay, this is different. All right.
Yeah.
But talk to the owners, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow, do a trial class or whatever. And that's what I did. Went back the next day, and it was just me and one, maybe two other people. Very small. Gym just opened. And
What'd you do before CrossFit? Did you work out before CrossFit?
Yeah. So I was going to get into that. I thought I worked out before CrossFit. I mean, I did. Now I wouldn't never consider myself a bodybuilder, but I did the bodybuilder split routine. That was kind of like, that's what I thought working out was, so, I mean, so I worked out, so I had a good little functional strength base, but nothing prepared me for day one of CrossFit. And I mean, my very first workout was called Jack. It's a hero wad. I think it consists of, it's got some box jumps, some kettlebell swings, and I forget the other thing. Maybe shoulder to overhead push jerks or something like that. I forget, a little barbell, light barbell. But it was like a 20-minute AMRAP or something. And oh yeah, this is easy, light. I can do all this. And about 3 rounds in, I mean, I never felt anything like that in my life. I mean, just the fatigue and stuff like that. And this guy I'm working out with is just running circles around me. I'm like, I was in shape, or so I thought, and so, I mean, to me, that was a call to action that kind of lit the fire for me. Like, all right, I need to be doing this. I mean, if I want to be fit, this is what I need to be doing. So that's what lit the fire, and then never turned back.
Yeah. And of course, we're going to get into it a little bit more, but you being there next to somebody working out, they were probably doing RX weights, which is the full scaled, the prescribed weight. So like they were probably doing 95 pounds or whatever. Sure. And you may have tried, or it was your first day. They may not have even let you do that.
Yeah. And I think that was a mutual decision. I mean, I kind of was a little leery about the whole thing or whatever. I think I used a lighter kettlebell and all that. But in my mind, I mean, even going to the box jumps, it's 24 inches. I'm like, I can do that. And I might have done one round of 24. But quickly drop down to 20 and then the step ups or whatever. So going in, it humbles you real quick, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's right.
Got to start somewhere.
That's right. And one of the points of us having this conversation is talking a little bit about how there are people who do the RX and the prescribed workouts, and a benefit of CrossFit is you can scale everything and still do practically the same exact workout, right?
Absolutely. And so that's the big thing for me as a programmer, gym owner. I have to look at all 200 members here, right? I have to challenge my best guys and girls. I mean, I have to write workouts that like are really going to push the limits of what they can do. So they're still getting that intended stimulus of intensity, but at that same time, I might have a 64-year-old woman or, a 13-year-old kid that just started CrossFit, or that 45-year-old soccer mom or, dad that was in the gym 20 years ago, but just starting back. I have to be able to modify that workout for them. And that's the beauty of CrossFit. Kind of what you just said there is I can put that 64-year-old grandmother and that 18 to 21-year-old fire-breathing athlete, put them in the same exact workout, modify it, but they can basically do this workout side by side, just little tweaks here and there, and finish at the same time with the same relative intensity. And I'll talk a little more about intensity a little bit later on, but intensity is the key to results.
Yeah. And now we'll jump back. So you, in 2013, started doing CrossFit, and that was the beginning of your CrossFit journey.
Sure.
Now, then you worked out for so many years, 2013 to 2020, right? And then
before I opened the gym.
Before you opened the gym, right?
Yeah, and I started coaching probably 2015.
Okay.
Intermittently. Started with CrossFit Kids. Love that. Love teaching kids. They're the best. But then went from there, and I changed gyms. Started training with, and this is probably where I learned the most about coaching. I mean, you learn a lot from these seminars and things, but when you work with world-class athletes, games athletes, and learn from them, it's just night and day. I mean, but you carry that knowledge with you, to teach everybody just little tips and tricks of how to be more efficient or how to move better. And it's all about technique and efficiency and moving well, and preventing injury, And so, I learned so much, from those guys, and just continue to coach up until COVID, and basically, and that's where I guess I kind of had the idea of wanting to open a gym, but COVID kind of expedited that because I was in Frankfurt. I had a military gym I worked at and coached at, $1 million facility, anything you'd ever want. But COVID happened, everybody gets sent home, and so here I am suddenly at my house, and I start piecing together a garage gym, and it became very evident very quickly that it's not the same without folks in there with you, pushing you, and just trying to make you a better version of yourself. So when the gym, the basically I went from the garage gym to opening up. What I wanted at that time was going to be basically just a small, probably 1,500 square foot facility, but I just wanted enough people to pay the rent for me and work out with me. I had no dreams and ambitions of doing CrossFit like I am now or whatever. That was the goal, but it quickly grew beyond my wildest expectations, and here we are.
And it tends to do that. That's the thing with accountability and the family that you build at a CrossFit gym. If you work out at the 4:30 class every day, or the 8 a.m. class, or the 5 a.m. class, those people, they'll check on you.
Sure.
You miss 2 days, and they're like, well, hey, Bill or Sally or whoever, where you been? What's going on? Something happening? Can I come help? Whatever. They will check on you, and they'll also give you a hard time if you miss a few days.
Sure.
And say, well, listen, you're gonna be sore.
Yeah, and that's the thing about CrossFit is some people respond to that. Mm-hmm. They like that accountability. They like that pressure, and some folks, as much as I hate to say it, some folks they don't. And they kind of shrink away from that. And to be honest, they kind of they don't tend to last long. I mean, saying is, successful people seek out the hard things. Yeah. Unsuccessful people don't, and that's basically what this is hard, and hard. You come in and you have that community helping you out. But if you, aren't naturally drawn to the challenge, the adversity of what these workouts are and what they put you through, you don't last. You find excuses not to come, and eventually quit coming all together. And that's it is what it is. That's you can't. If I say as a gym owner, if I can figure out how to make people want it, I'll be a multimillionaire. I mean, because I can teach you how to deadlift. I can teach you everything you know about conditioning, gymnastics, all those nutrition, all those things, but I can't teach you how to want it.
That's right.
That has to be innate. And if anybody ever figures that out.
But if everybody wanted it, then there would be something that there's a small group of people that wanted more.
This is true. This is true.
There's always levels. We're in here doing CrossFit. There's other guy that just ran 300 miles 2 days ago.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
And we aren't, you and I are not out there.
And we think they're crazy, and I mean, probably the general pop thinks we're crazy.
There are levels to the crazy. For sure. So, all right, now that we've established how you got into CrossFit, how you started the gym, and why you started the gym, tell me a little bit about the CrossFit methodology, why it works so well compared to doing one aspect of working out, like just doing bodybuilding or just running or stuff like that.
Okay, so the CrossFit methodology, I think, boils down to one word, and that's intensity. All right, so just going back to, I'm putting on this little competition now called Are You Fitter Than a CrossFitter? All right, so what I'm doing there is trying to just basically raise awareness about CrossFit, but also kind of exposing exactly what you're looking for there. Right. So let's go to, that marathon runner just broke 2-hour sub marathon, and incredible. I mean, he's going to run circles around you and I or whatever. He's a very fit runner, but you come in here, can you do a body weight deadlift?
Yeah.
How fit are you if you can't do a body weight deadlift? You go in, all right, let's go to the Globo gym here and the guy's bench pressing 405 for reps. That's very impressive, very strong there, but he gets winded walking up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
How strong or how fit are you? And then, or somebody, same thing with a deadlift, just deadlifting insane amounts of weight, super strong all over, but my little girl probably can overhead squat more than the biggest, strongest guy out there because he can't scratch his own back. He can't get his arms overhead, no mobility. So how fit are you? So when we talk CrossFit, we talk intensity, intensity can be a number of things. It can be the weight on the bar, how fast we're running or rowing or whatever. But what we try to do is specialize and not specializing. We're pretty good at all the things, but we're not great at any one of them. And so, I'll go out here and run a 5K, but I can immediately come in here and do a double body weight deadlift, and rock out 225 on bench press. Well, I do it all pretty good, but I'm not specializing in any one sort of thing, So going back to this competition, so I want to kind of give that full gamut of full spectrum, I guess, of fitness. And, we're going to max out all the lifts, and then we're going to go to a mile run, and then we're going to do a functional fitness workout, a Jackie. And it's going to kind of hit everything, not all, but most aspects of physical fitness, and just kind of expose where those holes are.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that's why the methodology works. I mean, we train intensity in all these different facets of fitness, and that intensity drives adaptation, and your body adapts to that, and you become fitter as a result.
Yeah. Is that like anaerobics, aerobics?
Sure.
Mobility?
Absolutely. And, you think, of course, raw strength, power, you think power cleans or whatever, just coordination, just all these different things, double unders, coordination, or a snatch, you have to be really coordinated to do
Olympic
that.
lifting.
Yeah, sure. So we train all of those, and, there's like 10 of them. I'm not going to name them all off the top of my head here. I'll get about 7 of them out before I mess up. But you can look that up if you got questions. But, again, we specialize in not specializing, just trying to be good at all of them and not great at
constantly varied, I think is what
functional movement performed at high intensity.
Yeah.
Yep. So just a little bit more to expand on that, just to kind of paint a better picture of how intensity works. All right. Let's say you sign up to go, you want to run a 5K.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That's a great thing. You're not going to go just get your dog, put him on a leash, and go walk a 5K and expect to suddenly run faster. No, you're going to have to train, interval training or something like that, to really push how quickly, how fast you can run, for a period. I love doing 60, 120s or whatever, run for 60 seconds, walk or jog for 120 to kind of give myself a little bit of time to recover. But that intensity, training that intensity, and then letting your body recover a little bit is going to raise your overall level of fitness, you know? And so that's how you would train for a 5K. You would train high intensity and then back it off a little bit or whatever. And then you go out here and run a 5K, and you're running faster than the guy that just ran 10 miles a day at the same slow slog. He can't run any faster. But anyway, there's not much intensity there.
Yeah,
but
makes
anyway,
sense.
Yeah,
completely makes sense. And now, why do you continue to do CrossFit instead of, I don't know, just your standard bodybuilding in the gym with your headphones on, or just out running by yourself?
So, I'm 48 years old. I'm definitely not getting any younger, right? And then I found CrossFit. What we just talked about, I was drawn to that initial competitive vibe. It like, this is hard, this is, it's challenging or whatever. But what I quickly learned, and if I went back a couple years to 2010, 2009, my health, and I was the epitome of, probably 75% of the population out there, pre-diabetic, I didn't know it. A1C was probably elevated, stuff like that. Cholesterol was high, just all those things. Here I am, early 30s, all those health issues, metabolic syndrome creeping up. I'm still young enough where I'm, holding it off and, not on medications yet or whatever, but pictures, tell the tale, but a byproduct of CrossFit was very quickly, I'm much more leaner. My cholesterol dropped, I'm just so much more of a healthier person than I was prior to starting. And my wife, she, we kind of did an experiment on her. She basically started CrossFit whenever we opened the gym. And her labs, she's a medical provider, her labs, we're just basically all those same things, metabolic syndrome creeping in or whatever, to, a year or so after that, 15, 20 pounds dropped. Perfect lab results and everything. And, that is a byproduct of doing CrossFit. So you ask why I continue doing it. That's it. Now it's health. Now it's, I'm not going to be in here competing with these 18, 21-year-old fire breathers. As much as I want to, I have to check the ego at the door. But when I walk into Walmart, that's my competition now, so to speak, here I am, zero medications, no issues, and, knowing how to eat right, all these things. And, and then I see, myself years from now playing with my grandkids up into a ripe old age and, things like that. So that's why I'm in it now. So, I come in here, I do my hour a day at the gym, work out hard with intensity, with purpose. But then, I check the ego at the door, and if I have a good workout, great. And, if I didn't have a great one, it's okay. I'll come back tomorrow anyway. So that's what keeps me coming is health and longevity, quality of life.
Yeah. So now I want to touch on the types of people that we have at the gym, age ranges, how in shape they are versus how out of shape they are, how they started. And then what about the biggest hurdle to get everybody into the gym? So start with, what kind of people are work out here?
So I've got everybody. I think my favorite unit is families. I have mom and dad and kids, and I have several kids here. I think my youngest is 10, and my oldest person here, Ken, I know he's in his 70s, Ken Waddell, but I'm pretty sure he is. He's got to be, but he's same thing. He's here for health and wellness or whatever. But full gamut of people. And I have 21-year-old people that are borderline semifinal athletes. And then I have, but probably the majority of my population is the 35 to 45-year-old parents, working professionals that have an eye on health and wellness and are concerned about that. And they've, in their own time and in their own way, probably done their own research and have found, just like so many other have, that CrossFit is where you go to affect health and wellness and, fitness for long-term life, So probably, going into my biggest hurdle, cost is part of it, but it's not my biggest hurdle. If you want something, you will make it a priority. You will find a way to pay the $135 a month to come to CrossFit. And what you get for that $135 is just the knowledge. If you come for 6 months, that is an investment in yourself. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about fitness. After that, the community is definitely what keeps you coming. The challenge of the workouts that you can't do on your own or whatever. But if it's a priority to you, you're going to pay that. So cost is a initial deterrent to some folks.
Yeah.
But only if it's not a priority to them.
Yeah.
Their health and wellness. If they want to be healthy, they're going to come. But I say, going back to what I just told you, earlier, the want, the drive. I mean, I don't want to blast anybody. I will say this very tactfully. All right. So this is hard, working out is hard, CrossFit is harder than, going to Planet Fitness, but you're going to get better results, more work you put in, but folks just simply tend to shy away from that. And again, this is where I'm going to be very cautious, but have folks that spend a lot of money at my other business, doing semaglutide or tirzepatide and these type things, to get the required or desired result of weight loss
without the work.
And, and honestly, I talk to them and I try to coach them in here. I'm doing in bodies with them, and tracking their results, and trying to plant those seeds. So maybe not today, at some point, if not here, somewhere. I mean, do fitness somewhere. I mean, you've got to have, that muscle mass, in your later years and, things like that. So, I'm not staunchly either CrossFit or not, go bodybuild. Perfect. That's great. Go powerlift. Great. Whatever it is, your outlet for physical fitness, just do something. Yeah. Sure. But I'm going to say we're the best, if you want a well-rounded thing, but it's not going to hurt my feeling at all if you go elsewhere.
And I like it. It's well-rounded in a short amount of time. So you could get similar results, bodybuilding and running and walking with intensity in all three aspects, but you're not going to get it in 45 minutes.
No.
This is the only way, right? And from my outside view of the gym, it's a lot of working professionals that are higher up in whatever they're doing, or entrepreneurs that understand time. And sure. Or their family. So you could go to the Globo gym but then you're going to have to hire a babysitter for $50 to watch your kids, or you're going to have to go during lunch or whatever. And it's going to take a lot longer than that 45 minutes to an hour to get those same results, because you're going to have to do 3 sets of bench, 3 sets of tricep push downs, and blah, 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 and also walk and also run.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So, back again, when I was in the military, I said I was working out, doing my bodybuilder routine again, not knocking that, but I thought I was doing something, but I was in the military and we had our annual physical fitness test, twice annually. I had to run 2 miles, and listen, I am nothing special. Running is not my, I don't like it,
I know.
but, in the military, I had to do it. If I didn't pass my running test, I got kicked out, and so basically when I was working out, I'd have to shut down my whole lifting routine for about a month and basically focus on the cardio aspect of it, and, or whatever, to pass my test, and then found CrossFit. And the very first time I did a PT test, I basically, outside of doing 400 meter runs in workouts or whatever, I didn't run and passed it with no issues. Didn't even have a fleeting concern about not passing where, because I knew how physically fit I was. And so, in an hour a day, again, I'm walking around, anybody in here, I should say, is walking around fitter than 99% of people on earth, just simply because they're getting that volume in that 1 hour a day. And then, you're good after that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Now, you spoke earlier about the competition that you have coming up. So you just lay out what that looks like. Are you going to have people at the CrossFit gym come compete? And also you are trying to invite people that go to other gyms in the community or around to have them compete as well. Who are you looking for and trying to get into the event?
That's a great question. And so I'm looking for me. I'm looking for people
you in
like
2012.
Me and maybe I'd heard about it, didn't know enough about it. But once I experienced, what true fitness was, I was drawn to it. I was drawn to that. So that's what I'm looking at. These guys, and listen, again, any type of fitness, I'm definitely not knocking it. But if all you're doing is powerlifting, you're not working on your cardio or whatever, again, how fit are you? And I mean, there's so much more you can be doing with your body, and then again, bodybuilding, the aesthetics of it, I mean, that's great, but yeah. And I'm not going to say this about all bodybuilders, but you're seriously high level guys. I mean, just carrying around all this extra muscle mass. I mean, dying young because the heart is so stressed or whatever, or competition prep. I mean, when you're dehydrating your body and basically passing out, I mean, that's not healthy.
That's right.
So I mean, do your split routines and eat right and everything like that. But I mean, when you go into the extreme, and that goes with any sport, I mean, you can go to the extreme or whatever. So I'm not knocking bodybuilding. Yeah. I'm just saying there are healthier options out there.
That's right.
So, but yeah, so I want to find these guys that are naturally gym rats anyway.
Yeah.
And expose them to this. And I mean, I think when they have a young lady in here run circles around them on the mile or outlift them, or just blow their doors off in the Jackie workout when they thought they were fit, and they'd be like, okay, all right, so yeah. I need to go back to the drawing board. So that's what I'm looking for, just to raise awareness and expose holes in their fitness.
Yeah, and I follow Chris Bumstead. He won Olympia, best bodybuilder in the world, like 7 years in a row, sure. Right? And he no longer does that, has a family, realized that he couldn't really run around with his kids and ride bikes and stuff with his kids because he's too dang big and out of shape.
Sure.
Out of shape, but looked incredibly in shape. Yeah. Joint issues, everything. And he's not necessarily doing bodybuilding because he can dedicate 3 hours a day to working out. CrossFit.
CrossFit, yeah.
But he is doing cross training. Functional fitness.
Sure.
He is lifting weights. He is doing like weird Bosu ball lifts, running, the full gamut, stretching, mobility work.
Yep.
Not necessarily CrossFit, but functional fitness.
Yep.
So he has the longevity and the time with his family, and he can run with his kids and do all of those things that he couldn't do as a bodybuilder, even though he thought, and maybe in the back of his mind, he knew he wasn't in that good a shape. Because he was training for a specific thing.
Sure.
Like another guy that's training to run in the Olympics, he has cut like 40 pounds. He was in shape. He was a fast runner, but he's running sub 2:30 marathons trying to get into the Olympics.
Sure.
And he had to cut that weight.
Yeah.
He doesn't look as ripped as he did before, but he's training for something specific.
Yeah.
And then he knows later on he will go back
and
to.
That's fine. I mean, if you want to go climb Everest or whatever, you're going to have to dedicate, deviate. But, what CrossFit is really, honestly, it's the trademark name of general physical preparedness. I'm prepared for anything in the unknown and the unknowable. I mean, I'm gonna go out here, my car dies at a red light or whatever. Well, I can get out, I can push it out of the, can you, not you, but you know what I'm saying? And, and I have the strength and the cardio, the stamina to do those type things. I went climb Kilimanjaro, not super strenuous, but well, maybe for some folks it would be, but I didn't do anything special. I went hiking, and kind of got my feet, built up, just for blisters and things like that. Yeah. But as far as cardio and conditioning,
essentially you are a few tweaks and 6 months away from either being a bodybuilder or a runner or whatever, because you are cross training and your general fitness is good. You just would have to tweak a few things, add a few more calories because you're going to go hike Kilimanjaro or Everest or whatever, but your cardiovascular and your strength is there. You just have
that baseline is there. Exactly. And that's, and again, walking around fitter than 99% of people on earth, and that's a good place to be, because you never know when you're going to need it, what I mean? People, talk about doing a muscle up, are you going to find a bar out in the woods, to do a muscle up? No, but what if you fall and you're hanging? You got to have grip strength, to hold yourself up, or just things like that. Everything we do in here, we train in here has a functional component out there, so that's what we do.
Yeah. All right. Now to close everything up, as a gym owner, what is the best part of your job and what is the worst part of your job?
Best part.
Worst part of your job is you're always on the phone. But, okay, now you answer.
Yeah. So best part, hands down, is just the rewarding transformations of countless people over the years. And just showing that person how to do something they never thought physically, going upside down for the first time, or dropping 20 pounds or running their first 800 meter or just whatever, I mean, just those, you want to call a lot of them non-scale victories, I mean, I've got countless stories over the years.
Showing up 5 days.
Yeah. That's huge for a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, and that's, and the confidence, especially this is more prevalent, I think, in kids, the self-confidence. I mean, can't use names here, but a little fella in my little strength and conditioning class, I mean, just was basically a turtle, and now he's really come out of his shell. And I mean, he's like experiencing new strength. I mean, just simply opening up a bottle of Gatorade. Couldn't do that before, just, you don't think a whole lot about that, until you, I guess, experience it. Now, the worst part of it is, I tend to, and I've gotten a lot better at this over the years, is I tend to pour myself into folks too much, get somewhat personally attached, and then again, going back to that want, I can't make them want it. And I mean, I know when you walk, I mean, I've had people walk into this gym and, on dialysis or whatever, and I know you're not long for this earth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't make a change, but change is hard, and so that's the hardest part of it, is just knowing, that individual is failing to make that change, and I can't make them. And again, I mean, I hate to get morbid, but you're going to be dead sooner than later, if you don't make a change. And that's hard, man. That's hard, or, somebody's here, I mean, again, you get attached to them, and I mean, they move away. That's not so hard. I mean, because life changes, and wish them the best or whatever, but it always hurts when you lose family, so to speak. But that's the worst part of it, losing people and just really honestly not gaining people that, this is what they need, and you can't help them. So,
All right. Well,
but it balances out, and I mean, I try not to, like I said, I've gotten a lot better at not pouring myself so much into these folks and just keeping segregated my feelings. Liz helps me a lot with this. She keeps me kind of that medical provider aspect of, we can only do so much.
And then they got to do it themselves. They got to meet you halfway, essentially. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sitting down, and we might have this conversation again one day.
Sure.
So good luck with the competition, and we'll see how fit some people are out there that don't do CrossFit.
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you found value in this episode, make sure to share it with a friend and follow us on social media. And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, you can always be better today.